All right, happy last day of the year, everybody. Here on the Over Under podcast. Let's bang this out. I'm busy. I'll be. I was just doing radio. I just got home, and I'm gonna go do television and give out picks on there later on. And I got to go to the barber first. Like crap. So, Dan, I know Wake Forest is currently playing right now, and let's see, they're up 17-10. Washington State and Central Michigan are about to kick off. I think that one's already past the time.
Yep.
And then we have Alabama, Cincinnati, Michigan, UGA, the college playoff. Few bowl games tomorrow. I've been thinking about. I've been trying to find an angle for Cincinnati. I know there's a lot here. The defense for Cincinnati has been what's been great for them. Good defense and a good quarterback. That's kind of what they do. Good running game. Jerome Ford, who played at Alabama a year ago. Like Alabama's all-time record in the semifinals is 5-1. They had that setback against Ohio State a couple of years ago, but the more I look at it, I want to take Cincinnati with the points. I just feel like when it gets down and deep late into the game, Alabama's going to be slightly too talented and too physical. It's 13.5 now. So
no, it's 14.5 now.
Oh, okay. So, if you like him to cover by 2 touchdowns, the value's there right now. What are your thoughts?
Look, I'm just going to be honest with you. I like Cincinnati in the points. I think that there are a lot of people who love Alabama, and look, Alabama was up to play Georgia. That game was a huge game for them, and just the way we're kind of looking at it right now is that Bama was, ready for Georgia, wanted to play that game. They were rolling. They had John Mechie. This is going to be different today. Okay, this is a totally different type of game for Bama. I potentially think that they're looking past the Cincinnati team and probably not taking them as seriously as most people probably should be. And I think we're seeing that. We're seeing a large amount of money come in on Alabama. Books have talked about their big needs today are Cincinnati and Georgia. And I do think that is kind of representative of kind of where I kind of like to lean today anyways, too. I think Alabama had a fantastic offensive performance against Georgia, and they were fantastic, in that game just in general. But if you look at the prior games, Alabama really hasn't put together a solid game like that outside of that one matchup. That one game is pretty much, the best game they played all season. I'm going to expect that we're going to see some legitimate regression. If we're talking about the points here, I'm not going to PP it, but I certainly lean Cincinnati at 14.5. 13.5, I'd probably say, look, I think you have to consider taking Bama. I probably wouldn't have played it. I definitely wouldn't have played it for sure. But I would have said you have to consider at 14.5. I think that's, you're starting to get some value in Cincinnati. You're talking about a 3-score game, most likely. So, yeah, I think that's probably too much to lay there. In terms of the total, Joe, I slightly lean under. I think 57.5, 58. Too much. I think we're going to see more of a defensive Bama team. We talked about Cincinnati's defense being better. I know Houston was able to move the ball against them, but I just think this is an under game, and I lean the dog.
I think teams just don't play defense anymore, considering that Cincinnati's had one of the best defenses in the country. 57, 58, huh? Right on the number, right around the number.
Yep.
Yeah. Right around the number. I don't know. I probably wouldn't play a total.
I made it 54.5. I think 57.5, 58 is too much.
Yeah, and dude, a lot of the bowl games have been going over the total. But this obviously is the college playoff. So
it's slightly different. You can't treat these games like bowl games. So
oh my God, bowl games are been wild. All right, so again, I'm rooting for Cincinnati. I like what they've done. I think Desmond Ritter can hang in there. I just think late in the game that great defense can get tired. So I want to watch it though, right? We finally get something like this. We get something different than Notre Dame, than Clemson, and so again, I think a lot of people are going to be rooting for Cincinnati. And then there's Georgia and there's Michigan. So, dude, so many people are like, yeah, Georgia. I'm concerned about Cade McNamara versus the defense. That's my concern. But has anyone talked about Michigan's defense versus Stetson? Like,
I've only seen people on Michigan. I actually don't know anyone who's on Georgia.
Oh my god, yeah, I heard, I've talked to many. Oh yeah, it's gonna be Georgia and Alabama all over again. Like the Michigan offense was very good this year. They averaged 37 points per game.
I mean,
they scored 30 points 10 times.
That's great and all, but again, I'm going to say Georgia probably had some regression in that one Alabama game. Outside of that one Alabama game, how many points did Georgia allow?
No, they've only given up 10. I get it. That's what I'm trying to say. I literally just said the Georgia defense against McNamara scares me, considering they put up 30 points per game this year.
So just to kind of give
that's my concern.
Just to kind of give you an update of where things are. This number opened 8, right? Right now, Michigan is getting 68% of the bet and 80% of the money. So
yeah, I wonder.
Again, I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm legitimately not kidding when I say this. I don't know anyone who's on Georgia today.
Wow.
However, I will be the one. PP Georgia minus 7.5 and make it 2 units. Make it 2 units. This to me is a gargantuan mismatch. Okay, gargantuan. Michigan has been a fun team this season, and they've been good. Michigan, when they faced a physical team, a physically dominating team, Michigan State, I'm going to say the refs helped, but that was a ass kicking at certain points by Michigan State. Michigan got pushed around at the line of scrimmage, the point of attack. They were dominated in that matchup. Go back and watch that game. They were out physical every single time Michigan State lined up to run the football. Michigan is not a power football team with the exception of one thing, running the football. They are very good at running the football. However, Georgia's strength on defense is stopping the run, making you force the pass. So strength on strength, and then defensively, Aiden Hutchinson's getting all this love for being the number 1 pick and everything, and he had a fantastic game against Ohio State, no doubt about it. And yes, I am concerned about Georgia's offense scoring a ton of points. I just don't think Michigan's going to score at all. I look at the team total for Michigan. I like the under. I like everything pretty much under in terms of Michigan football today. This team has been a lot of fun this season for most people who are not Ohio State fans. It's been a revelation for Harbaugh, but this team is still soft in my opinion. And Georgia not only has better talent than them, they're a more physical team. A few weeks ago, we were talking about them maybe being the best college football defense of all time. And now we're scared to lay 7.5 points against a team that got that shit pushed in by Michigan State. Just feels a little weird to me. I think, again, people are overreacting to what they saw in one game and not taking a look at the entire body of the work of the season. And the entire body of work tells me that Georgia is 10 to 12 points better than this Michigan team. And probably still should be the number 1 team in the country. Obviously you can't put the number 1 over Bama, but if you're actually physically ranking them, I'd still put Georgia over Bama. I'd have Georgia, as a favorite against Bama in a rematch. I think Georgia should be the favorite, and I think that Michigan is. I don't know, man. I'm not very high on Michigan this year. Not very high on Michigan in this matchup, I should say. I love them against Ohio State. But not in this one, not so much. So yeah, give me the PP on Georgia, double PP, 2 unit play.
I mean, I think it's going to be Alabama, Georgia in the final anyways. So I wonder if it's worth kind of betting on that matchup, if there's any odds for that, or if it's worth taking Alabama or Georgia to win it now. Love to make a case for Michigan, but yeah, I everybody I've seen or talked to has been Alabama, Georgia all over again. So you can bet that too if you want. And the total on that game was again, I'm sorry,
46. I actually think that there'll be some points from Georgia. Again, I don't feel great about Michigan. I'm not playing the total. I still lean under, of course. But I do think that Georgia's going to find a way to put up points. They seemingly do week in and week out. So
I think Stetson Bennett really needs to show something today. You know, if the Michigan defense is big and bad, I think they will hinder him at times. But he's got a big game today. He's got a big game today there, Stetson Bennett. And then what else do we got here? All right, so that's it. And then I know we're going to be on tomorrow, Dan, 7 to 9. So I don't know if you want to do other games tonight or
let's bang out a few of the bowl games tomorrow because we have NFL tomorrow too. So while we can quickly dive into them and then maybe we can get a little bit more in depth tomorrow. Arkansas, Penn State, Joe. Do you like anything in this one? I mean, this one has moved quite a bit. Open Penn State 4.5. Now Arkansas is -2.5. Definitely one of those that has moved quite a bit. Your thoughts?
So again, the SEC hasn't been great in a lot of these bowl games yet. I don't know if it's Clifford going to play. Like that's kind of a lot of trying to look at here. Yeah, Arkansas will be without Traylon Burks. Penn State safety Jakeem Brisker and his receiver Dotson, they all will not play. KJ Jefferson will play. He's the quarterback of the Arkansas. I like him. I actually like him. This is the first time that Arkansas has played in a bowl game in years, man. I know they played one in the they played one in the Belk Bowl, in 2016. And then last year they got their game canceled. So I think there's a little motivation here for Arkansas. The line moved from like 4 to 2.5 too, which I thought was kind of interesting. So I early lean it's Arkansas, but again, Penn State's going to be sitting a few guys, and the line's 2.5. So I don't know. I would normally think that a Penn State defense would keep things in check here, but a lot of these games have just been going over the total, and the way Arkansas plays, if they're going to win, they're going to score points. So kind of lean over 48. It's already moved from 45 to 48.
Yeah, well, we've seen, Penn State lost their defensive coordinator. He's gone. He went over to be the head coach of Virginia Tech. They've had a lot of opt-outs. Linebackers Brandon Smith and Ellis Brooks. Safety Jaquan Brisker also opted out. It sounds like wide receiver Jahan Dotson's going to opt out as well. And meanwhile, you kind of talked about Arkansas has their quarterback playing. Treylon Burks. He declared for the NFL draft, so he is out. And Trey Williams also out for Arkansas. So two big pieces. They are getting Tyson Morris back, which kind of should help the loss of Treylon Burks. But yeah, look, I think that this is one. Look, we've seen the Steam be fantastic so far in college football season. Steam and the favorites have absolutely crushed this bowl season. I'd say this is probably one that doesn't go that way. I thought Arkansas really faded down the stretch, and I thought Penn State was underrated for a good portion of the season. I lean Penn State in that one. So,
all right, and who else we got? We got Kentucky, Iowa. I'd love that quarterback from Kentucky. I don't know if he's playing or not tonight.
Yes, he is.
Yes, I love him. So just give me Kentucky. Well, let's PP it. Why not, huh?
All right. PP Kentucky -3. Yeah, look, it's the square side, but it's the side I also agree with Joe. Tyler Linderbaum. He is going to play for Iowa in the game, but Tyler Goodson, who's their big-time running back, he is out. Spencer Petras, who I know you love, is going to be the quarterback for the Hawkeyes. I think that's a net negative for Iowa. I think Petras is dog shit. I really don't think he's good. Matt Hankins has already been ruled out with an injury, and then his backup Terry Roberts has been ruled out as well. Kentucky is going to be without Josh Ollie and Isaiah Epps, who are two big wide receiver options for them, who were involved in a car accident. So they're going to miss the game. But look, Kentucky's been getting this team. I just look at this Iowa team, and man, the back half of the season they sucked. They got the shit kicked out of them routinely throughout the year. I'm off Iowa. I think Kentucky is going to show the SEC physicality and win that game. So.
While we're at it, I love Utah against Ohio State. It's more about line movement who's not playing for Ohio State. I just think I'm not fading Utah anymore, man. You know, Ohio State even care? Like, you know what I mean? It's just Utah, baby.
Yeah, it is. It is a good question. At this point, it's kind of hard to take Utah since this line opened 9 or some shit, or opened 7, got up to 9, back to now it's down to 4.5. But Garrett Wilson's out, Haskell Garrett's out, Nicholas Pettit-Freyer is out, Chris Olave sounds like he's going to be out too. Defensive tackle Antoine Jackson, he's out. Linebacker Cody Simon, he's out. Cornerback Seven Banks, he's out. Safety Marcus Williamson, he's out. They're all out. And there's even more that are expected to be announced out eventually. Wouldn't be shocked if that line ends up getting the 3 tomorrow. Meanwhile, Utah is expected to have close to a full roster playing in this game. We talked about it. Kyle Whittingham has been fucking incredible for this team. And, they always feel like they get better as the season goes on. And I got to say, Joe, as an Ohio State fan, I don't know why this game would matter to them. It feels like it doesn't. All their big-time players are not going to play. So, yeah, I feel like this is a Utah or nothing spot.
All right. I'm in on that too. And then what's the other game that's on? Oh, my God. Are you going to bet Notre Dame?
I am going to fade Notre Dame. Give me Oklahoma State plus 2.5.
Yeah. Spencer Sanders last game. A lot of dudes, right? It's motivation for some of those guys.
I will say that this is, that I will say, and I understand the angle. For everyone loving Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman's going to be taking over as head coach, and it's going to be big time. It's it's his first game, etc. But look, Kyle Hamilton, he's out. He's going to be a top 5 draft pick most likely. He's not playing. Kyron Williams is also going to be prepping for the NFL draft, so he's not playing. So your biggest offensive playmaker, your biggest defensive playmaker, Jim Knowles, who is going to Ohio State to be the defensive coordinator. He is going to coach in the bowl game for Oklahoma State, so he's been prepping for them. I just kind of think that it's interesting, too, because actually Ohio State is playing Notre Dame next year in the season opener. So this could be a very good game for Knowles to kind of figure out what is good against them, what is not. Obviously, it'll be a different team next year, but still very important. I look at this Notre Dame team. We've talked about it all year. I just don't think this has been I just don't think this has been I think they're an overrated team, in my opinion. Oklahoma State, underrated. They just found ways to beat everyone they played in a very good conference. Won the conference. So this is a great Oklahoma State team. They're also getting Jalen Warren back, who, it sounds like he's going to be playing. So I got to be honest with you, man. This feels like a trap line here. I really like really like Oklahoma State here. And I also lean the under. I know that's probably the square side, but yeah, I like Oklahoma State, and I like the under. I think Oklahoma State rolls.
By the way, Oklahoma State was very close to actually being in the college playoff if it wasn't for a few things going their way. So, and I know Notre Dame was next on that list, but that's because they're not in the conference. So I think Oklahoma State was the better team this year. That's how I feel about that. So anything else, Dan, you want to get into?
Yeah, two more games, Ole Miss, Baylor, and then LSU, Kansas State. So quickly, Ole Miss Baylor, we were kind of waiting on Matt Corral. He announced he is going to play. He announced that like December 1st, so he is going to play. They are going to be missing Jeff Lebby, who is the offense coordinator. He is going to Oklahoma, so he is not going to be in the game. It sounds like Baylor is basically going to be 100% full strength. The kind of question everyone kind of wants to know: are they going to start Blake Shapen? Are they going to start Jerry Bohannon? Both those guys played very well down the stretch for Baylor, and it's definitely going to be a hit or miss. Baylor, to me, is probably the side. They're just fully healthy. And look, when we have these quarterbacks who are trying to put on big-time shows in bowl games, it's very rare that it goes well. I lean Baylor, just that the health of that team, to me, is going to be huge in this game. I still don't know who fully is going to be out for Ole Miss, but obviously the big one was Matt Corral since he's playing. It does kind of change things there, but I still lean Baylor. I think that team being fully healthy, I think they were a little bit underrated this year. And I just think that, again, they can kind of get into that shootout style, that Ole Miss likes to get, and they can actually beat them that way if they want. And then finally, Kansas State LSU, Joe, this is January 4th, so this is a few days out. Skylar Thompson is going to be back for the game. So, it sounds like he's going to play. There's a ton of coaching moves for Kansas State. So that's going to be kind of an issue. LSU has no quarterback. Max Johnson transferring over to Texas A&M. So that's going to be interesting. Miles Brennan, I guess, is probably going to be the quarterback. He's not expected to play. So it sounds like Garrett Nussbauer is going to be the guy who plays. So they could have, legitimately, Joe, a true freshman, a walk-on, or a converted wide receiver play quarterback for LSU. So I got to be honest with you. The fact that this line is still 3.5 is baffling to me. LSU has lost so much talent, through the transfer portal with Brian Kelly coming over that it's very, very surprising to me. That's the case. There's a lot of stuff that has not been great in LSU. Just in general kind of going on. Also, LSU wide receiver Trey Palmer, he entered the portal. Damone Clark and Neil Farrell Jr. opted out. There's just not a lot that's going great in LSU. I very rarely recommend buying points, but I personally bought Kansas State from 3.5 to 3, and I'm playing Kansas State. I'm not PPing because whatever, but and this is going to be LSU without a quarterback. I mean, and versus Skylar Thompson. I don't care what the case is. Actually, you know what? Give it to me anyways. Give me K-State -3, -125. So there you go. So those are my 3 PPs coming up in the next few games
there. I'm toast. I'm going to enjoy the games today.
All right.
And that's it, man. I am all ready to go. I might do a bet on Alabama and Georgia meeting. I'm not sure if you saw that line or anything like that, but
I mean, again, it's probably like a parlay. My guess is you're probably gonna have to do something else. You're probably gonna have to Alabama. Alabama defeats Georgia. Georgia defeats Alabama. That type of thing. Georgia defeats Alabama +140. Bama defeats Georgia +150. So there you go.
All right, dude. Happy New Year. Let's go get them today. Enjoy some of these early games, and then 3:30, the college playoff begins. Thanks for everybody for tuning in, and we'll be on tomorrow morning from 7 to 9.
Sounds good. Good luck today, guys.
All right. This is Over Under Podcast.
What you got?